In this video, we take a look at this cow with an extremely sore sidewall in her hoof. This cow has 3 extremely sore feet, which might be fixed. I attempt to dance, and Craig uses all of our fuel attempting to reverse into the shed. This is the Hoof GP.
And I won't let it rush when I see you dance, and the moment comes when I fall and time goes slow. I fall into you.
Spring has finally sprung here in southwest Scotland. Oh, the sun is shining, the lambs are in the field. Just ignore that wet stuff falling from the ground. Falling from the sky. Yeah, springtime here in southwest Scotland. The lambs are actually starting to appear in the field, but yes, as you can see, Scottish weather is inclement. Yeah, it's horrible. How are we anyway? How is the weather with you? Have you got a springtime? Or are you stuck with this? We now have this room. We call it the drying room. It's where we put people like this to dry out. And people like, I'm not sure if that's a person. And people like this to dry out. But anyway, we've got a farm about 3 miles from where we are right now to go and trim at. And luckily, 95% of our farms are inside because I ain't doing that. Yeah, it's horrible. Anyway, we'll get loaded up, get to the farm, and see how many cows there are to do there.
Love it when it's me and you on the road with a couple of tunes in a car for 2. Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time. Driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. And get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city.
In all seriousness, this weather doesn't really bother me. If we're outside trimming, obviously it's a bit of a downer, but Scotland wouldn't look the way it does without all this rain. This type of rain's fine as well because it's good warm stuff. It's that cold, wet rain that I don't like. Right, so the farm we're going to is actually an organic farm. There are actually only around 20 organic dairy farms here in Scotland, and I go to about 5 of them, I think. Right, we're just about at the farm. Let's put Craigie Boy's reversing techniques to the test. If we've got enough fuel. Huh?
Oh, I don't want to do the reversing. I know, I don't like that.
Craig's trying to disappear. Your steed awaits.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll hold that.
Don't laugh.
Reversing takes a lot of time and patience for us. Right, let's see how Craig does. So a lot of this is actually about the lineup. How he positions the pickup when he drives in. Fronty ways, I mean. Yeah, me and Kev would have went slightly further forward there. He's made it more difficult than it needs to be. It's actually doing not too bad here. He'll still be able to get it in if he's careful. And that's what she said. Yeah, he was actually going to hit the side of the shed there, so he's wise to move forward. It would just have been handy if he had about 2 meters spare on the other side. Oh, wait a minute.
It went better than I thought.
To be fair, he did really well. How you? Good, bad, terrible?
I feel like I did pretty well, but I couldn't see very well because of the rain, so it's hard. I couldn't see the trailer.
Kevin and I both said you made a bit of a mistake. When we pulled in, when you pulled in, you didn't pull far enough forward, so you're still kind of squint.
No.
It would have made it easier if you were totally straight, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get set up, and there are around 20 or so cows to do here. Cows' feet here are actually really good, so I don't anticipate any huge problems. That being said though, I know for a fact there is definitely one in there really needing our help. So you would think a crush being on a trailer and not having its own wheels would be a bit of a problem and actually take longer than the vice versa situation, if that makes sense. But as you can see here, we're taking it off the trailer and it really takes no time at all to get it up in the air, get the wheels on, get it down the back ramp and push it into position. This crush is not very heavy at all, and for us, there are 2 or 3 of us doing it, so it really doesn't take long at all. All we need to do now is pull the access part back out of the crush. Craigie boy will put the side gate on and we'll pull the wheels off. And job done. You see, it doesn't take long at all. And the added benefit is there's no running gear, no wheels in our way when we're actually trimming. Right, let's get these cows up the race. Now that cow is not supposed to be there. She's supposed to be facing the other way, and actually we're not even supposed to be trimming her. She'd come in this gate of her own accord. Seriously? Why would you do that? Now you need to reverse. The trouble is she needs to reverse out of that gate, but it's her collar that activates the gate, and her collar is now at the wrong end. I've got a solution though. Kev, can you open that gate? Cut her head off and turn it around? No. Oh, we could let her go that way, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's probably a better idea.
Alright, it's just you. Give us some.
It's gonna shut on me.
Should have tied it before you.
Ah, you can fit through it, no bother, thank you.
No, just as I thought I
The diet's working fine.
thought out loud.
I can't do the diet thing. The gym is working okay. We're tying these shut because the collar will, or some of the collars will activate this gate and we'll lose our cows. Right, cool. So as we're putting the cows up the race, we had tied the right hand gate, but unfortunately, the left hand gate usually doesn't shed, and in this case, it does, and this cow slips out the sideways. Luckily, Graham, the cameraman, stands there. Didn't really film it and kind of fumbled the camera. That worked well. Probably should have tied that gate too. Usually these gates only shed on to the right hand side. Yeah. Kev's opened that gate and she'll go back through there. And just like that, all 20 of them are in the race and ready to go. By the way, the biggest complaint we get on merch is the shipping. We've massively reduced the shipping to America. It's miles cheaper than it's ever been. And we've been really struggling with Australia and New Zealand, but good news, we've managed to get it right down. We've really worked hard to reduce the cost so you can get this mug or any t-shirt, hoodie or whatever for £7.55, I think it's something like that, delivered to Australia or New Zealand, which is probably about as cheap as we can ever make it. So if you would like any of this merch that's on the screen right now, then go to thehoofgp.com. That's thehoofgp.com. Grab yourself one of these hoodies, one of these t-shirts, one of these baseball caps, or even this mug. Right, back to the video.
My big swollen hand.
One of the hazards of this that you don't see that often is we do get kicked fairly regularly, and Kevin got kicked in the arm yesterday and it swelled up like a football, but luckily it's not looking too bad today. Luckily it was Kevin that got kicked, because if it had been me, the cow might have broken her leg. Raymond, 3 feet?
Yeah.
So this cow was...
She had a white line on that foot, dermatitis on the back left, and the sole ulcer 2 in the back right.
So this cow had a problem on 3 feet last time. 2 and a bit months ago, we applied 2 blocks to her feet. It'll be interesting to see how she's doing now. She's clearly still got some of the glue on here, but the block has worn away. Let's see what the back feet are like. So she had dermatitis on this back left foot and a sole ulcer on the back right foot, and they were both fairly substantial because they were deemed a level 2. Right. So I'm just taking the grinder quickly here to reshape these feet and rebalance them. It's only been a couple of months since she was last seen, so we don't need to take very much off. And now it's time for a bit of knife work. When a cow has dermatitis, it has lasting ramifications. The hoof horn growth isn't fantastic. You can get all sorts of problems rearing their ugly head because of that very issue. You can see what we've done with the Repoderma or salicylic acid or whatever we used has worked because the dermatitis is completely gone. However, she has developed a small crack in this white line, and we need to make sure that, wait, I just said it was a small crack. Hold on. Incoming. This is why rechecks are so essential. I think this isn't going to come to anything really. It was definitely starting to, wasn't it? I could be wrong though. Because the horn's translucent, you can see it tracking right up this outer wall, and that's how I know to keep going. And there we go, we can see the exit now. And to keep taking these little minute slithers of hoof horn away so there's no cavity within being filled up with dirt and manure. Ah, lovely. Well, we'll just wash that out a little bit. Rabbit, see the hole? So this is an issue that is affecting her very slightly probably, but one that this simple couple of minutes trim will completely resolve. Right, we'll just clean our heels off now. Horrible looking foot, isn't it? But the dermatitis has completely gone, so we've done our job there. Next foot. So this foot had a sole ulcer last time, and as you see me start to grind away at this foot, you can see again we're not removing very much material at all, but I'm also constantly thinking about how that ulcer is looking, and we can definitely still see the remnants of it. So the ulcer has been here, you can see all of the cracked hoof horn, and in my experience, I have no idea if this is completely healed or not. Oh, first couple of slithers of the knife are looking good though. You can see all this loose and detached hoof horn around her heel, which is just fantastic for holding in slurry and manure and causing more issues. Oh look, so this was a sole ulcer too, as we said earlier on. A couple of months ago, she'd had a block attached to it, which is now worn away completely, and just in time, because this is completely healed. We just need to dish this bit out a little bit more, and I'm actually going to lower this a little bit so that less weight is being taken on this claw. So I'm just taking the grinder to lower this heel a little bit more so that it takes less pressure and doesn't become an issue. And while I've got the grinder in my hand, I'll just model out the inner claw quickly too. Beautiful. So that foot has completely healed. All I did there was tidy it up with a knife a little bit just to deepen that model and make sure any cracking hoof horn around the heel was completely removed. Right, on to foot number 3. This glue is incredibly hard and I don't want it to hit me in the hands. So we'll just remove that quickly with the knife. So now we've got the glue out of the way, we'll take the grinder and make sure these feet are in tip-top condition. They are incredibly hard. I'm already beginning to see how dry they are. And that's probably because they had the block in place for so long. Once we've got the levels and the lengths right, we'll just start modelling them out. Dish them out as deeply as we can with the grinder. Then take the knife and get the model a little deeper. Listen to how hard they are. You can actually hear them, they're like stone. So here's where the problem was here. Do you know what level it was, Kev?
2.
So again, we work on a level system, 1 being something that isn't very substantial, 2 being something that really impacts the cow and is causing a lot of pain, and 3 being very, very severe. 4 is irreparable. To be fair, that's hard to say. And this one is also, oh, I thought I'd nicked her there. has also completely healed. Fantastic. They're really flat, these feet though. Look, I've tried to keep these heels as high as I can, but our feet are actually really flat. This bruising is something I'm not very happy with, so I'll just model that out a bit more deeply to take that off the ground. And boom, that is a result. 3 out of 3 feet treated in one fell swoop, and this little revisit, recheck has ensured that they have actually healed and made sure that they keep moving forward. So as she exits the crush, you can actually get a clear view now. This is a very old cow, especially in terms of the dairy world. So she is walking slowly, but crucially, she is no longer lame. Right, let's get some cows done. And it's time for a change of pace. Whenever we're trimming cows, we just kind of fade away into our own little world, absorbed in what we're doing and the surroundings we're doing it in. This is just a little taste of how that feels. As I'm lifting this leg, Craig tells me this cow was trimmed in September, so 5 months ago, and she had a problem on this back left hoof. And now we've got it in there, we can see the problem was in her white line, look. I grab the grinder straight away and get at it. I'm desperate to see what kind of condition this cow's foot is in, but I will completely ignore that problem to begin with. All I care about is making sure the levels are correct and that we take the length of our toes down to the right size. And now we've done that, it's time for a block. So as I was grinding there, I could see clearly that there is a problem underneath this hoof. Right now it doesn't look open, but because of our experience in dealing with things like this, we can tell that there is still a problem going there. So this block will take the weight completely off this claw. And now it's my turn to take away all of this hoof horn. I said our experience tells us it's open, but my experience also tells me that sometimes I'm wrong. Ashley, if you're watching this, just ignore that completely. I can tell in this instance though that she definitely does still have some sort of ongoing issue here. These feet alter interiorly on the inside. So I need to be very careful. On a normal hoof, I know I could just carve away at this and it would be totally fine. I could go really deep, but look, you can see straight away here, this little problem here, that wouldn't have happened. Code brown. And back to the trimming. You can see this coming right up the exterior wall. We're going to need a wrap, guys.
Hey Graham, you want some of this on you?
So this is Steve Wunderlich's Wonder Sauce. If you don't know who Steve Wunderlich is, go and check out Steve Wunderlich Hoof Care, Hoof Trimming. He's a really good friend of mine actually, and there's only one of Steve. Let's put it that way. We'll use, no offense Steve, I know this is probably fantastic, but it's not something, in fact it looks quite good, look at that. It's got udder mint in it. We'll use what we use normally. I've no doubt this does work, Steve. Wunderlich sauce. No, Wonder Sauce. But we're going to use what we know definitely works. You're alright, you're alright. You can see all of the gunk coming out of there, that slurry that's gone up into that crack, and that is why we need to get rid of every fold of hoof so that slurry that's coming out right now doesn't get trapped.
Iodine!
while Kev's wrapping that, I'll crack on with this other foot.
Beautiful.
We could run away. You and me together, baby, we don't gotta stay. Let's lose our minds. We could go crazy and leave it all behind. It could be glorious, 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 glorious. It could be glorious, 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 glorious.
And just like that, we are finished for yet another day. Oh, it's been a good day. Look at this, by the way. This is cow number 7, and I didn't realise, but she has millions and millions of views on YouTube because she was incredibly lame at one point, and now just look at her. I've actually forgotten all about her. That is long-term lameness, completely healed. And that is also what you call good timing.
Coffee, Graham?
Thanks for watching, folks. Cheery bye!